What is up, everybody? Happy Friday Eve. Happy, what is it? 4th of July Eve as well, too. Welcome to episode 22 of the Assets Over Money podcast. Kevin, how you doing today, brother?
Hey man, utterly amazing, man. Doing well. Can't complain at all.
That's what's up, man. Are you in a, looks like you're in like a mansion today, man. What is this?
Man, hey, it's where I'm always at, man.
Different angles of it makes it look really nice.
Hey, it's a different angle. I told you I was doing something different.
Yeah, it looks extravagant, astute, if you will,
Astute.
Yeah, astute, man. Ben, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, Richard. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm blessed and highly favored. My favorite day of the week, and then tomorrow, Independence Day, man. So yeah, I get to celebrate that inside. Though I won't be outside because I gotta, we got an infant, 8 months old, so we ain't going to the fireworks, but we may watch some on TV or something,
Oh yeah, nice. Well, appreciate you guys having me on. And yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna intro you, man. Yeah, you jumping the gun a little bit, but yeah, let's go ahead and jump in, brother. So, all right. Y'all, tonight's guest is someone who is, I say, really put into work, somebody who has been in the trenches. My guy, Ben here. So Ben has spent years out in the field, door knocking pre-foreclosures and finding creative deals the old school way. He actually was telling me backstage about how he found a deal at a garage sale. So he's definitely got to tell us that story as we jump on. But instead of just selling those deals, he made a shift. And now he's helping investors get ahead of the game by selling access to county data. So check his name there. You can see the website in his company right below there. So county data, real actionable info that gets you to the lead before anyone else. So he's not flashy, just a man who's focused and has built a business around helping others win better data. So let's welcome my guy, Ben, to the show. Welcome, Ben.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess really, bro, before we just jump into anything, man, tell us about you. What's your background, bro?
Yeah, so I'm 24. My name is Ben Lureen. From Minnesota. That's where I'm at right now for the 4th. Here for a couple days visiting family, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I live in Scottsdale. Been there for about 4 years. A little bit my background, how I got into real estate. So it was 2020, and I was going to college, and I was in Hawaii for New Year's visiting my friend, and then I was going to go back, start the next semester. So I go in there and I open up my computer to start classes the next day, and I didn't see any of them in there. And so I'm like, what the heck? So I call in. They're like, oh yeah, you missed the payment deadline. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, the money's out of my account. I was paying my way through, had a couple jobs at restaurants. And so long story short, they didn't let me attend for that semester, and then COVID hit. I lost both those jobs at the restaurant. And so I had like no money, no job, no school. And I was like, okay, well, I feel like I should be doing something here. Well, the whole world is basically quarantined and paused. So I started just reading books on entrepreneurship and getting into that kind of stuff. And so it just led me to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then like Bigger Pockets. And about 3 months later, I bought my first flip. It was a 2-bed, 1-bath, or a 2-bed, 2-bath condo right here in Minnesota.
Okay.
And me and my dad just hands-on flipped it. And I was in love. Like, I was like, I love doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to be in real estate. Found out about wholesaling.
Yeah.
But my dad, he wasn't, super about doing all the work and having a full-time job as well. I had all the free time. So after that took us about 9 months to sell. After we did that one, I up and moved. I had some friends that wanted to live in Phoenix, and I up and moved with them. And then I kept going. I started calling the pre-foreclosure list, and I got another flip out there. And then once I found that pre-foreclosure list, then I found out wholesaling, you don't have to flip these. You can just flip the contract instead. Yeah. So that's like the story on how I got into real estate. And I just happened to stumble upon the foreclosure list. I was cold calling, texting that. And then that's when I got into door knocking it. I found that to be the most effective way. And I preferred, believe it or not, getting in the car and driving around and door knocking each one of these over calling or texting. So yeah, that's what got me into into real estate and
Yeah.
where I got there. Yeah.
Bro, so I definitely want to go back a little bit. So that's awesome. So okay, in college, you open your laptop, don't have any classes, I guess, paired up because you didn't hit the payment deadline.
Yeah.
Fast forward, you're flipping houses, get your first deal with your dad. So how old were you when you did that first flip?
I was 19. I was 19, and I remember I would come home and I'd be like, Dad, like, we've got to get into real estate. Like, my dad's an electrician,
Okay.
works for himself for 20 years, no employees, no boss. And so he's a really handy guy. Like, all this woodwork you see, he did all of it. And I was like, Dad, you know how to fix up everything. Just tell me what to do. Like, we'll find a deal. You work for all these like flippers and stuff. You're an electrician for all these flippers. Like, they've got to have a deal somewhere. And so I'm like, could you ask him? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he actually asked around. And one of the guys that he's flipping for, named Andrew out here, he was an agent. It still is. And he said, yeah, I actually do have a deal that could be good for you guys. And he goes, I'm the agent for this like 300 unit HOA apartment building. And there's been a vacant unit for like 4 years. And the HOA owns it. It was like an HOA foreclosure, never sold or something. Don't really know how it got to that point, but he goes, we could probably work out a deal with them. They said they wanted like 140 for it. ARV, we were thinking was about, 185 or about 210 range. This was in like middle of 2020.
Yeah.
So the market was pretty good, for the interest rates and stuff. Definitely a seller's market. So good time to flip. And yeah, after about 2 days of just negotiating back and forth and winning my parents over of like, please, I'll put all my money into this. Like, let's do this. And we did it. And I couldn't be, more thankful for that opportunity. So,
it's crazy when you say that, man. Like, you're 19 years old and you're begging your parents to go in on a deal with you, like to make you more money. At 19, most kids are begging for like a car, like, Mom, Dad, buy me a car, which depreciates. You over here thinking, Mom, Dad, let's buy a house and let's make some money together. Like that's crazy. It's a different kind of mindset, right?
Yeah.
Which is. So you about to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, and it was funny. The way we structured it, I had $7,000 personally that I had saved up throughout the jobs that I had before. And I said, I'll put down all $7,000 and you guys put down the 28. It was like 35,000 for the down payment or whatever. And then that will be my percentage of the profits. And that's what we came up with. And that was, what we said was fair. And my parents haven't done, their background is not in like real estate investments or anything like that. They've done really well, but they didn't go to school, worked really hard. And so one interesting thing that my mom did, she's a banker, and she took a construction loan on the flip for 5% interest. And we just got a 12-month term. And, normally people are doing hard money loans and you don't really hear construction loans being used a lot. But if you can get them, it's more traditional financing. It's not like hard money loans. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure they're backed by your own credit when you do these construction loans.
Probably.
Versus a hard money loan is just the asset, you don't get in too much trouble if you miss a payment or something. I don't know. But that was pretty smart. And I was like, dang, okay, Mom, nice.
Yeah. Okay. So fast forward, you do your deal, and then now you're knocking. So you don't hear about knocking, bro. Like, you don't hear about people door knocking as much, man. Like, when I hear door knocking, I think like, I don't know. First thing comes to mind is like carpetbaggers back in like the 1800s, trying to door to door salesman. So people shy away from door knocking. Can you kind of dive in what door knocking is and kind of what is your process for doing that? Because that can be nerve wracking for a lot of people.
Absolutely. The first time I knocked a door, my leg was shaking. It was 102 degrees outside. It was the middle of summer.
This is in Arizona?
Yeah, it was in Arizona. And I wasn't entirely sure I had the right list. Like, I went to the county, I pulled these, got an address, wrote it down. I picked the closest one to my house and I drove to it. It was probably 10 minutes away. It's super hot. And it was a nice house. Like I'm thinking, wait, is this like a foreclosure here? Like didn't really know. Like it said some lady's name on the posting. I knocked the door and some lady comes out right away. And I'm standing right next to the door. And the first thing, she looks at me like really concerned, like not like she's scared. She looks like concerned for me. It's because I'm looking down and my kneecap is like shaking. I'm so nervous. And I'm like, are you in foreclosure? And she was like, no. And I'm like, I just froze. I didn't really know what to say. I was like, okay, well, I probably have the wrong house then. And like, thank you for your time. Walked away. So yeah, I was definitely nervous and definitely something you got to get over and definitely something you can get over. You just gotta to win in door knocking. You kind of got to be a savage. You got to go out there. You got to be super mentally resilient. You can't really care too much. If you do, you're gonna get beat down, and you're probably not gonna last very long.
Yeah. I guess when did you get comfortable? Like, I guess door knocking after that.
It took me a while. It really helps when you actually have your first good conversation, and then you're like, wait a minute, it's not all just people getting angry and rarely slamming doors. I feel like people say slamming doors a lot more than when it actually happens. It doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
I used to think like 1 in every 50 doors would actually slam it.
Yeah.
That answers. But I got more comfortable as I kept going, putting in the reps, and especially when I met Max. And Max is another door knocker in the field. He was new to foreclosures, but he was not new to sales. He'd done solar for like 8 years. And when I met him, I taught him a lot about real estate. I knew a lot more about that, and he taught me a lot about sales. We kind of just became boys working together, and he taught me a lot about sales, how to handle these common objections, how to be confident with it, how to stand far away from the door so you're not, like a threat. Personal things too, like I don't wear suits or anything. Some people do, or, preppy clothes. I just wear like a simple white tee, shorts, try and look as unthreatening as possible. Sometimes I'll even wear Crocs. Like, I don't think there's anything less threatening than wearing Crocs.
Unless you got them in speed mode,
Yeah. They were always in speed mode. But so I would that's really when I got most comfortable. Once I knew how to handle the objections, then it just became about consistency, and just putting in the hours, doing it day in, day out. And then you'll just start to get deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I feel like one thing too, Kevin, I'm about to pass it over to you as well, man. Like I feel like one thing with door knocking, it seems harder, and I guess it's more like scarier to most folks. But I feel like when you're face to face with people, I feel like you'll get cussed out more over the phone than you would in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because most people don't have the guts to actually say it in person. And if they do, honestly, like credits to you. Like you got the balls to tell me that in person, then go for it, So and I don't blame them. Like they got the right to be mad.
Yeah.
If you're door knocking them, like, it's up to you to handle those objections when they're mad and stuff, and also respect their space.
Right.
If they say, hey, don't come back here, man, or something, personally, I respect that. And I'll say, yeah, absolutely. So,
yeah. No.
Yep.
Yeah. Kev, what you got, bro? I definitely have some questions. I want to keep asking more so about the county data aspect, but yeah, you jump in, bro.
So Ben, man, listen, do you do door knocking in Minnesota and Arizona?
No, so I haven't door knocked out here before. It's something I actually really want to do just for sport out here and see what it's like. Because in Arizona, that's where I started doing it. That's where I've only done it. It's like ultra competitive down there. And that's one of the reasons why I got into the data side of things. It's almost because I had to. I built it all out of necessity to help myself, help my team.
Right.
But no, I really want to try it out here because I've heard it's a lot less competitive. And also I feel like my pitch should be a little bit better, playing the hometown role of like, hey, I live just like 10 minutes that way. And I grew up here, and I just want to do deals out here in the future. So
yeah. I hear that, man. I mean, so Dog, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a big fan of door knocking. I mean, I've done it before, but like, you know, I don't have the nerve to just go door to door, man. I feel like where people are today, man, it's like they'll pull out the switch on you, yo. Like,
They might.
hold on, yo. What are you
They
doing here? And you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And you know, that would really make me nervous, you know what I mean? So I can imagine you really being nervous at that first time, man. But
Absolutely.
so let me ask you a question. So like the times you said email and cold calling that didn't work for you, you felt like, you know, one-on-one face-to-face was more of a strategic move for you. What was the turning point from moving from email or cold calling when you said, hey man, I'm done with that and I'm going full in on door knocking?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember it exactly. I was cold calling. I started off cold calling and texting it. And I just really, it was a personal preference, first of all. Like, I really don't like sitting there with like a headset on or like, picking up the phone and manually dialing. It's just not my personal preference.
Yeah.
And also, what really drove me to do it was I had hired a VA, and I was spending a ton of money on the subscriptions, the dialer, all of this stuff. And I was also hitting some other lists too, not just the pre-foreclosure one. And I wasn't getting a whole lot of places with it. I didn't really know what I was doing with the sales. And so I was like, okay, I need to tone this down. Door knocking, the only expense involved is the gas in your tank.
Right.
Outside of repairs your vehicle might need. Thankfully, I didn't have any big ones. Yeah, that was the primary one where it was just cheaper to go out there, and I felt like it would make me a better salesman. I kept hearing things about door knocking is the best. Door knocking is the quickest, fastest, most proven way to get your deal. And especially Pace would really preach that. And so, you get shiny object syndrome. I think this is a huge thing that a lot of people struggle with, especially new people in new mentorships like Sub 2 and stuff. Because right when you get in, you're kind of looking around and you're hearing all these buzzwords everywhere. Like, oh, I'm doing land entitlements or mobile homes or, short-term rentals, this, that. This guy's making $1 million, he's making $1 million. And it's like, I'm going to do a little bit of all this. And it's really distracting. And so I was in that same boat. I was kind of all over the place, had a couple flips. I wanted to pivot, didn't know where to go. That's when I decided to stop cold calling. And I said, I'm going to door knock. And what I told myself was I'm going to door knock for 90 days straight without bringing my head up. I'm just going to total tunnel vision in on this, like 6 to 7 days a week, 20 doors a day. And I'm not going to even think about doing anything else until day 91. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't get any deals during those 90 days. I got some good traction. And I remember my parents were like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you could go back to trying to flip or this or that. And I said, no, I'm seeing this pipeline in front of me start to form. I'm seeing my skills come together. I'm seeing all these things, and I stuck with it. And then a year after that point, I was doing about 1 to 2 deals a month, nothing insane, but just solo closing, door knocking. And it works. You sharpen your axe and you get out there, and it takes consistency and reps. It takes that focus.
Yeah.
So if I had any piece of advice for anybody looking to get into wholesaling, real estate investing or something, it's just focus, because everything works, but pick one.
Right. Can't get too crazy out there trying to do everything, man. I get that, yo.
Yep.
I mean, trust me, when I first started, like, I felt like I had to be the GC, I had to be the acquisitions person, I had to be the deposition person. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It was just, you got to know you can't do it alone, yo. We call it hero ball over here. And at the end of the day, you got to take chemistry over talent. So I get that, bro. I get that, man, a lot. So let me ask you another question. Is Minnesota always cold, yo?
No, right now it's pretty humid. I got the fan on over here, but In comparison to Arizona in the summer, it's much more bearable in my opinion. But in the winter, it's freezing cold. It's like, I mean, when it's negative degrees, it's colder than the inside of your freezer, you know. So it's tough out there.
Yeah, I've never been to Minnesota before, so you know what I mean. I've never crossed that barrier. But
Yeah, it's cold.
So how often do you go back and forth from Arizona to Minnesota?
I try and come up here about 3 or 4 times a year. I'll be here about 5 times this year or more for some weddings now for some friends this fall. But yeah, love this state. Love my hometown. Also really like Arizona too.
Okay. So did you go to college there? Where'd you go to college? And you know.
So the one that I accidentally dropped out of was in Minnesota.
Okay.
I went to Normandale. It's like a community college outside of it's like the main one to go to the University of Minnesota. That was my plan. Go to community college and then become an engineer. But
so you didn't even finish community college.
Nope, did one semester. One semester.
You sound right, and you're in the right place, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
somehow I wound up here.
But I mean, listen, man. College is not for everybody, and I look at it like this, man. Like, if you're gonna be doing that, find a niche that you can make money in. You know what I mean? And you found real estate. So like,
yeah,
it's no other better industry than real estate, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Because it's always tangible. It's always a way to scale, and you know, you can create monthly cash flow, man. So
absolutely.
So more power to you, bro. But man, tell me how did you and Rich meet, man? You know what I'm saying?
We met at the Sub 2 Summit. We met out in the lobby or somewhere over there, and then we were just talking. He said he's doing a lot of pre-foreclosure stuff, doing some Dallas deals, and so we started talking like that, and kind of told him about me, and then fast forward to now, here we are on the show.
Yeah.
Man, that's dope, man. That's dope. And so now you're into the data field, man. So you went from the real estate to the data field. I mean, I know you were doing it for yourself, but now tell me how you're helping other people with the data and what you're doing to scale that.
Yeah. So it was after I got like my first deal, about first or second, I don't remember exactly. And I was spending time going home every day and literally pulling up the county website for Maricopa and pulling in the new ones and then switching over to the cancellations, pulling out the old ones, manually typing in all these people's addresses, all their names, skip tracing them, and trying to get any equity or anything, manually typing. I spent 1 to 2 hours a day. Some days I was too busy, and then I wouldn't have the new postings from yesterday or from that day. And so I was like, there's got to be a way to get this data immediately, like while it's posting throughout the day. Because one thing I noticed was even as I'm pulling these manually, being one of the first guys there in the first like day or two is really beneficial. Like the conversations are much better. They're much more open in general and more motivated. And we started getting deals that way. And so it took us a few months, but we hired a developer to come in and go in and get that data automatically by going on the website and getting the data. And so we started implementing that with our system. So within like a couple minutes of posting to start, it would go there, grab the address, grab all the information, and instantly just put it straight into our CRM and then send me a text right as a new one came out. Hey, Ben, new posting. Here's the address. Here's the equity. Go check this out. And then I would go drive there if I was close. It's a big county. It's 5 million people. So there'd be about 10 to 20 of these a day. And I'd get to about 4 to, 6 of these if I'm lucky every day. And I started prioritizing being the first guy there. And so that's what I did. And eventually it worked out so well that I would just simply drive to the most populated, like central part of Phoenix and sit there at 8 a.m. waiting for new ones to post all day and just drive to the new ones. And that was it. And then I would just be the first guy there. I'd be talking to the homeowner for 20 minutes and then you'd have the rest of the crowd start to come. The other door knockers will pull up and they got to wait their turn. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. No, man. I mean, dog, that's smart to me. If you ask me. I mean, because in that market, I know it's super competitive. You got to be, the first man to touch base is usually the king. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
with the implementation, the implementation of AI with everything right now, right? How are you utilizing that with bringing up the data and being able to get it even faster than what you're getting it now?
Yeah, great question. So I feel like we're pretty lucky at County Data because there's a lot in 2025 and just in recent years. There's a lot of hype around AI and a lot of buzz around it. The buzzword of AI. Everyone seems to. I want to use AI. I need AI. It's like, okay, what does that really mean?
Right.
And there definitely is a lot of people utilizing it. It's definitely, in my opinion, something that's going to change the world entirely, like a total paradigm shift. But there's also a lot of buzz around it and marketing and fluff too in the current day and age.
For sure.
And so you got to differentiate the two. And I feel like I'm lucky because these improvements in AI and in recent years have been extremely beneficial to our use case specifically. We're now able to build bots and write code much faster, like 5 times faster than what it used to take. Helps us with our integrations for our clients. We do a lot of custom work now, and then also like PDFs, for example. Maricopa County has PDFs. We use the AI to read the PDFs, and it's cheaper, faster, and more accurate than anything that existed 2 years ago. So every time there's one of these like new AI updates that comes out, we see the benefits immediately over here. They're incremental improvements, but they're each time it's saving us money, speed, and accuracy too. So I feel like we're really lucky. We've got a very direct use case for writing the code, reading PDFs and stuff. So yeah, I definitely see a lot of opportunity with AI and specifically companies like County Data right now, where you have like AI integration microservices, where we're getting ultra niche, helping out real estate investor and wholesalers, get data faster, get more enriched quality data and integrated things that you don't need a VA to do anymore or to hire someone or do it yourself anymore. This isn't groundbreaking technology, but at the end of the day, there is a big gap and opportunity in business and AI to help microservices and real estate in particular. So wholesaling is what I know, and that's how I got into doing that. So yeah, great question. I definitely see a big opportunity there.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. I mean, I would say, and I ain't gonna hog the mic. I know I ain't letting Rick have no time here.
All good.
For that next dropout, that's about to drop out. Mm-hmm. What would you tell? What would you start fresh? Where would you do? What would you do now? What would yourself now? What would you tell that person that's about to drop out? What would advice you would give them? Right? What would you tell them? Knowing that the road that you've traveled.
Knowing what I know now, are we getting specific or are we getting like kind of like high level overview?
It's your show, man. I mean, like, if you knew someone that was going through that in the same boat that you were in, and you can go back and tell your old self that, man, where would you start at, being that you kind of transitioned and you've evolved since you came?
So this is exactly what I would do. The high level overview, I would tell myself to pick one thing and focus on it, whatever that thing is, because pretty much anything works, or a lot of the stuff that you're hearing about, blah, 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 drop ship, crypto, a lot of it works. Just focus on something. Right. I focused on real estate and got a little lucky with it. So thankful for that. That's the high level. If I'm getting really specific, knowing exactly what I know now, I'm going back there, and this is what I tell people. If I lost everything tomorrow, this is exactly how I would restart in real estate wholesaling. I would go and get all of these pre-foreclosure lists, like across the nation, as many as I can get, the biggest counties, the biggest populations, and I'm going to call the relatives of people over the age of 70 and 80 plus or 90 or 100 plus with no deceased on record. it's because they are most likely deceased and no death certificate's been filed, no probate's been started. And this is a very common situation in pre-foreclosure. You'll find a ton of vacant properties where people are deceased. The family has no idea that it's in pre-foreclosure. They don't know that there's an auction date or that there's behind on payments. And they oftentimes don't have the money to pay an attorney to help them, because if they want to talk to the bank does not talk to someone that's not the owner unless you're authorized, which 95% of the time they won't be. And so that's what I would do. I would go pulling massive amounts of data across the nation, calling the relatives of the pre-probate, pre-foreclosure list. Out of all the deals that I did, I probably did 12 deals personally, and then with the team, however many, like 30. Half of my deals was this strategy, just from door knocking and then cold calling in Maricopa. So if I lost everything, that's exactly what I would do tomorrow. I could probably make more money doing that right now than what I'm doing now, but I prefer to do this. So,
you got a vision, bro.
Yeah, I got a vision for this. I wanna take this and run with it. So, yeah,
No doubt.
Yeah.
that's exactly what I would do if I could tell myself to do something very specific.
Yeah. Hyper specific. That's what I'm learning as well.
Yep.
Be that problem solver for that hyper specific problem.
Absolutely. Yep. Really focus in, get niche. If I want to find a niche inside of a niche, you got wholesaling is like a real estate niche. And then you got the co-violation or county data list. Then you got the pre-foreclosures, and then you got the pre-probate pre-foreclosures all the way down here. And so get ultra niche and then niche out.
Right. No, I agree with that, man. Well said.
Yep.
Go ahead, Rick. I ain't gonna take no more time.
Hey, bro, you know, I got the questions on deck, man. So yeah, no. So one, bro, I freaking love that. So I got a few things I want to hit on. We got about 27 minutes, so we got some time.
Cool.
For sure. So going back a little bit, I'm taking it way back to when we first met. One of the things that you told me, I don't know if you remember it, but one of the things that you told me, and I have it written down, so I want to make sure that I get it correctly. One of the things you told me is data gets you to the deal first. So when you said that, I was like, man, this dude's speaking like some type of Mr. Miyagi or something like that. But I like the way it sounded. So when you said data gets you to the deal first, one, what did you mean? And then number two, what makes one list or data source now, more powerful than another? And I think you kind of already hit on that a little bit as you were answering.
Oh, these are great questions. So when it comes down to being first on the list, why does speed to lead matter? Essentially, it kind of just boils down to simply this: the most motivated people, the people with the biggest problem. For example, I don't want this house. Screw that house. I'm never going back there. I left it. It's a piece of crap. Literally buy it for whatever you want. That kind of motivation. Do you think they're going to want to wait any longer to sell? Probably not. So whoever's first to the phone or first to market to them is going to win. And those are going to be some of your easier deals and quicker closing ones too, and bigger spreads. So the most motivated people aren't going to want to wait. So that's where the speed to lead matters. And you compound that over time of, okay, I'm first to 20% or 50% of the list, or 100%, who knows? You're going to increase those chances of finding the best deals much higher, much higher. So that's what really matters on that side of things. As far as what makes one list better than the other, I'm not exactly sure. There definitely are lists that are better than others. You could have some tire kicking, like obviously I'm going to have more success hitting the foreclosure list than if you were to hit the brand new home buyer list in 2025, zero equity, high interest. Like there are lists better than others. But as far as county data goes, you typically have a handful of worthwhile ones, like pre-foreclosures, code violations, probates. You get people doing like tax liens. Some people are doing judgments and judgment negotiations. And, like state tax, federal tax, tax foreclosures. And then if you go into sheriff sale states or judicial states, they're sheriff sales. Pretty much the same thing as a foreclosure. You got Liz Pendens. And then some counties have it like water shutoff and fire damage list. There's also a couple really ultra niche ones. One of them I heard of, one of my friends actually in Iowa. He ran into one of the bank winterizers. So like they go there when the bank deems something vacant, and they'll go there and they'll clean it up and, like shut off the water, shut off the electricity, and then put the winterized sticker on it. And so he ran into the contractor that has like a ton of those housing contracts out there with these banks. And, he got that list that way. So pretty cool stuff out there. So there's a bunch of lists that are kind of hiding that people don't know about. Final order, judgment, foreclosure. These are all good ones. What makes one better than another? It's hard to say. It's also going to come down to your skills. Like how well do you know the foreclosure list and objections and options for these people, and how to navigate an auction 2 days away, or how to handle the loan mod objection or something. So how to follow up properly. Like you got, guys that are doing like fire damage properties. And that's the only thing that they do, and they're crushing it. I know a guy out in Phoenix who is crushing fire damage only. So there's like golden nuggets and sub niches of every sort of list in the county records. At the end of the day, I would just pick these tried and true ones like foreclosures, where, historically they've been a great source of deals for like 100 years, and they're going to continue to be great sources of deals.
So people are always going to have that problem. I mean,
Yeah, like no need to reinvent the wheel on a new list or something. Just hit the tried and true ones and automate that data and be the first one to it is, where I come into play and where I had success.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I got another question, right? I follow on with that before. And I do want to ask you more specifically about your company. Before I do that, as far as, county data versus things such as, the batch, the prop streams, the free, the free sources, things of that nature, but the paid services, those bigger companies. What do you see as the biggest difference between that and county data? I know I have my thoughts, but I want to hear it from you, man. You're like,
it's a good question. I get this question a lot, and it's the difference between like the tap water and the source water, from the mountain and the glacier. When you got two types of lists, right? You got direct from the source. That's the county. That's the truth of the list, right? That's all of the postings, all on time. Everything is there. Some of the times you can get it. Some of the times you can't.
Yeah.
Like California, they don't just post this stuff online perfectly. There's the source. Here you go, everybody. Arizona, they do. So it depends on the place. Is a little disclaimer. And then you've got like Zillow, auction.com, batch, prop stream, you name it. And what they do something different. They go to these counties a lot of times, and they make deals with the county. Like I could call the county right now, any of these major ones, and say, hey, I would like to get a commercial license from you guys. We want to sell all of the property record data that you guys have. And they say, yep, that sounds great. Most of the time they say, once every 30 days, we'll give you the list. We do it at the end of the month, and we just ship all the bulk records. Sometimes it's a couple hundred or a couple $1,000 a month, something like that, depending on what type of record. Other ones have like 4 or 5 days late. And so that's what these aggregators do. They go to either that source, the county directly, and do it that way, or they go to like newspapers that the newspapers have certain types of deals with trustees. There's all these different ways that these lists filter down. At the end of the day, the main thing that I noticed in the difference is these aggregators, they tend to be a couple days late. They tend to miss most of the list. So anywhere from about 30 to 60% of the entire list, for example, would be on these aggregator platforms. So you're missing deals. Your deals are slow and late. So it's not ideal. If you're going to try and make a career out of hitting the foreclosure list, personally would not recommend going to aggregator. I would recommend going to source. Now, I'm not saying you got to sign up with me, but I'm saying you should go and at least manually pull it and get the reps in and know what you're getting into, just like I did. I was manually pulling it until I'm doing deals, and now I don't have time to manually pull it anymore. So then I shift my focus to just getting the data in auto and then reaching out right away.
Yeah, man. I could recall a couple of times, man, where I'm calling these in the beginning, bro. I'm calling these lists, man. I'm like, pre-foreclosure, perfect. I'm like, all right, when did this come out? It's like, all right, auction's gonna be next month. I call them, like, yeah, I already sold this. And I'm like, damn, like first 4 or 5 people I call already sold it. So I'm like, man, how can I get here quicker, man? And that was one of the kind of the intros me to more direct to source county data things, man. So I appreciate you for sure sharing that. And I think one of the things you did share with me too on that, man, that separates your company, and you can probably talk this better than I can, obviously, is that with you, foreclosure specific, there's different types of foreclosures that county sources will publish, right? So they'll publish the foreclosure, right? It could have been this is very, very new, or it could have been actually this canceled, they got it handled, and some places don't differentiate that. So it's like you calling these people like, oh, I already got it handled, but it just came out, I just saw that it just came out yesterday from a data source that I'm using, but you're saying you already got it handled because it was published, but it wasn't necessarily differentiated. You want to talk on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So that's the other thing that taking it back to what you said. Some of these are sold already or canceled, and they don't update the status on the back end either. So they get it late to begin with, and then they don't update it throughout that process. Like if it was canceled, if it was sold at auction, one of those. So there are other types of foreclosure lists. So we've got sheriff sales. Like Arizona has both sheriff sales and the regular foreclosure sales. So there's both judicial and non-judicial. Most people don't even know that. Most people think it's just that trustee sale. The sheriff sales don't even post on the county recorder website. You got to go to a totally different place. And that's in a ton of states, like Texas too. And then Florida's all judicial. So is Ohio and a lot of these other ones. But and then there's the substitution list too, where someone's behind on their mortgage. At least in Arizona, let's just as an example, somebody's behind on their mortgage like 60 days, but 90 days is the minimum to start a foreclosure. So what the bank will do instead is they'll say, okay, this person's 2 months behind. They're probably statistics show they're going towards foreclosure here. So we're actually going to swap out the trustee on the mortgage, the attorney of the mortgage, with a foreclosing trustee. And so you can go on the substitution of trustee postings, and that's like the pre-foreclosure list of people, 60 days behind before that, 90-day auction. So definitely some sub niches there, more lists to get, more things to do. So, and some of these counties have their own little lists I don't even know about, so.
Bro, yeah, you got the freaking sauce, man. This is awesome, bro. To get more specific, man, with your company specifically, man. So like, I guess walk us through, the process, right? Let's say that, folks interested, they're liking what you're saying. They're all about Ben. They're all about County Data IO. What's the process for signing up, man? What does that look like?
The process, it's pretty simple. It's you just right now you reach out to me. The website is almost fully done up, where you can go on there, buy a bot, and integrate it straight to a Google Sheet, but not quite. So reaching out to me right now on Instagram or text or something like that, and then you can get after me, and I have a lot of care with this. I really care about this, my customers and stuff, and so we build a lot of custom bots. For example, I just made one for an overages, so like things that sold at auction already, and a wholesaler wants to go there and like if something has 200,000 over the auction amount, he gets notified immediately, and he'll go in there and call the homeowner and say, hey, I'll help you collect it at auction and stuff like that. So we build bots for all different types of use cases. We integrate it to Go High Level or like Google Sheets or Trello, or whatever kind of CRM you got. We just did a batch dialer integration today.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, some people are linking it straight up to a dialer, or like maybe a text blaster or something. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and with that, man. So if you don't mind me asking, what does it look like as far as your plans? Like, is it something to where you sign up for a month, or do you commit to 6 months or 3 months, or what does all that look like?
Yeah,
What do you
so
get?
I do 3-month minimum, so quarterly minimum, and then typically for these massive counties like Houston, Dallas, Maricopa, it's like $479 or $497 a month for those 3 months. So then it'd be like $1,500 basically. And then we do integrations too and stuff like that. And then the auto texting when a new one comes out and stuff like that. So yeah.
Man, yeah, I freaking like that. And the number you have, right? Is it your personal cell phone that you have? You want people reaching out to?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna just post it right here, man. So people got you.
Yeah, go for it.
You can see it, man. Oh, dang, I kind of messed that one up. We'll try that again. Try that again for sure. But no, man, that I think it's something that is really key, man, and it's definitely different. And I know, with us communicating on it, man, it is something that I myself am I'm extremely interested in. I've seen just in limited capacity. I've seen the power of county data hitting people up. Sometimes you even letting people know. Some of these people I even talked to didn't even know that they were in foreclosure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. It's like, how you not know that you're in foreclosure? But I guess sometimes people just aren't aware, which is fine.
Yeah, I actually had to change my pitch from when I got the automated data because I was being the first guy so much. I had to go there and say like, hey, am I the first guy to come around? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, I am. That's a much different pitch, being the first guy to break the news to them than it is being the 50th guy. Much different pitch. So, yeah, definitely breaking the news became like a day-to-day thing.
How do some people take that, you think?
From what from my experience, is about 90% of people are in denial, and then the other 10% are in acceptance with it. Oh yeah, I'm behind on my mortgage. Yeah, man, I already know. Like, either I'm gonna fix it, or I'm gonna sell the house. Mm-hmm. And but then most people, no, I'm not in foreclosure. Get out of here. Like, no, I don't know where you're seeing this. And some people are in like total denial, just cannot believe any of it, which it makes sense. It's when you're the first guy there, the bank, at least in Arizona, they've got 5 business days after the initial filing to notify the homeowner. So the homeowners haven't been officially notified in a lot of cases. They probably have an idea deep down, but they don't actually know until it's taped on their door, as per state law. Yeah,
man. See, and that's crazy. I mean, that's how we talk about different things. That's how some people are taking advantage of one, but then also like it's crazy to where I've talked to folks too on the back end on the flip side of it, where it's like, I'm on the phone with somebody. I'm like, hey, well, have you done anything to try to solve this? I'm like, no, I can't even get a hold of the bank. Like, they said they were going to, try to call them. They don't answer. I'm trying to get a hold of the trustee. The trustee's busy because they're managing other cases or what have you. But it's just crazy how some of these people, because I feel like more often than not, it's more so like, at least from my experience, it's more so me assisting people with potential options that they have outside of me just, me buying their house, or you're facing foreclosure because you're hitting it, early enough. There are cases to where you hit people up on the flip side, man, where I've talked to people, I got it handled, and they're calling me like the day of auction or the day after auction, be like, hey man, I messed up. And I'm like, well, damn, bro, it's too late now, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That definitely happens, and that always sucks when that happens and you watch someone's house go to auction and you tried. That's probably the worst feeling of the business. There's definitely highs and lows of door knocking foreclosures. The highs being someone texts you like, hey, actually really appreciate it. Like, you helped me, you saved the house. Like, so glad, I worked with you. And then the lows are watching someone lose everything and you tried. That's not fun. So it's not all glitters and gold in real estate, especially door knocking foreclosures. That's if you're going to do it, like I said at the start of the call, you got to be a savage. You got to be a savage.
Yeah, man. Okay, really, I guess the last question I have, and I'll kind of pass it over to Kevin to see if he has anything after this, man, is like, what are your bottlenecks in your business right now, bro? And how can we, be a service to that? Like, what are some things you're looking for?
My bottlenecks right now, I'm always looking for good developers and talent.
Okay.
I'm going to start running Facebook ads and stuff. If you know anyone who's good at Facebook ads, got any experience with that. We're also going to be looking to run affiliate models for county data. So, working with people with followings and stuff to help blast it out and, do affiliate links. So I'm looking for, affiliates, referrals to affiliates. And just trying to grow this thing out. We've spent the last 2 months really working on our systems and back end, getting everything prepped for some scale here of adding a ton of new counties and really being able to service 10x more clients. Yeah. So I'm just looking to take on some new clients.
Yeah, I got somebody I want to connect you with, bro, for sure, especially on the affiliate side. The gentleman I was talking to you a little bit earlier about, Chris, the gentleman I was talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Big following, runs into a lot of different things, and has a loyal following at that as well too. So I'm going to connect you guys if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
And see how you guys can make it work. And then
that sounds great. You just throw us in a group chat and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, awesome, bro. Yeah, happy to do that for sure.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and then I guess Kev, bro. I know you've been sitting there. I know what you got stewing up in the brain, bro. We got 8 minutes.
Man, no, I'm just, again, Ben, thanks for being on tonight, man. And, I think Rick kind of summed it up for us when, with the last question he had. So, I mean, I'm just thankful for you to be here, man. And you're a young guy, man. You're fresh. Just keep pushing forward. And, I think you're going to be great, man. I think you're doing a wonderful thing. And, where do you see your business in the next 5 to 7 years? I mean, I know you're scaling right now, but, what's the ultimate outcome here?
5 to 7 years. I usually don't think in periods that long for some reason. I usually think in periods between 6 months to 2 years. And in that time frame, I'm hoping to scale up from what we're currently at to $100K a month in net revenue and beyond, and just build this business. I'm in love with building the business and creating something from nothing here. So, and innovating a new approach. So as long as I'm just happy doing that, this is what I want to do. And I love being a part of the AI wave as it's coming in and really getting to use all the new fun tools coming out. So in the next 5 to 7 years, I hope I'm just having fun and building business and growing as a man, as a business person, and yeah.
Hey, bro. Well, listen, it was a blessing having you, man, and I look forward to hearing great things, man. And anything we can do to help increase your business, definitely let one of us know, and let's just keep growing together, man. You know what I mean?
Likewise, yeah. Appreciate it, Kevin and Richard. Thank you guys for having me on, and enjoy your 4th of July and weekend.
Hey, America, bro, you pump me up, man. America. Yeah. All right, brother. No, thank you so much for being here, man. A lot of freaking gems you dropped, bro. So I hope those that were tuning in took some notes, or at least go back and watch the replay, man. So I really enjoyed today's episode, man. So thank you for hopping on. I know it was last minute as well too. So appreciate you, man. And yeah, hey guys, episode 22. This is it, man. And see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right. Have a good one.